Hi, I'm Russ Holden. I'm the CEO and founder of Caddy for a Cure. I'd love to tell you about my relationship with Zig Ziglar. Back in the early 1990s, I was a up-and-coming golf professional waiting for my first job as a head golf professional at Woodfield Country Club in Boca Raton, Florida. And unfortunately, my job was not in the proper timing for me, and I had to take a intermediate job as a painter, and I was driving around South Florida in an old beat-up jalopy that had no air conditioning in the hot sun of South Florida, and it only had one radio station, and that was an AM station called the Winners Network. He used to play the likes of Jim Rohn and Earl Nightingale and one Zig Ziglar, and here I was driving around daily at really one of the worst times of my life, hearing Zig tell me every day how I was born to win and how I was going to be a success. I could hardly really envision anything like that. A few years later, I had the great fortune as now head professional to meet Zig at a men's conference at my church, the First Baptist Church of Fort Lauderdale, and I was honored to meet Zig and shake his hand and honored to ask him to play golf with me, and we did that a couple of years later and began a friendship unlike anything else. One day he invited me to Born to Win up in Orlando, Florida, and I made the trek up there for the weekend-long conference. And I'll never forget Zig shaking my hand and holding it firmly and looking me in the eye. And once again, now face-to-face, telling me the same words that I'd heard over and over and over on the radio. You were born to win. You were born to be a success. Now you go out there and get round to it. He handed me a little coin that had a get round to it on it. And I was been deeply touched by a rare bone marrow disorder called Fanconi anemia. I had a friend with two children who were like my own that were deeply impacted by this lethal disease, and I knew that I wanted to do something about it, and I kept looking at that coin and thinking about Zig's words in the back of my head, and I knew I had to get round to it. So 10 years ago, I started Caddy for a Cure. And here we are 10 years later with over $1 million raised for charity. We've made a tremendous impact in the lives of many, included our brave wounded warriors with Birdies for the Brave on the PGA Tour. And I look back at this and I think of Zig all the time with his famous water pump, and how he kept telling me to pump and pump and pump, and how we had to keep priming that pump. But once we got it going, all we had to do was keep a little easy pressure on it. And I think about that today as we're honored to be able to represent so many less fortunate out on the PGA Tour, the LPGA Tour, and now going into the world of music. God bless you, Zig, for everything you've done for so many people in your life. I can't wait to delve into the new Born to Win book, and I encourage everybody out there, it will make a difference in your life.